what you're hearing is the gentle sounds of Marcus hacking to the Burger King mainframe.
We wanted
Well,
you
someone
guys.
had to shut it down. They lost all their stores, didn't they? They lost all their stores, didn't they? Someone had to hack into them, okay? Clickety clack click. I sound like probably someone on hold when the heck like the holding thing is actually doing stuff. Where it's like, please hold. Why? Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Okay, was that satisfactory for you? Shut up. Just give me a representative.
Why did you stop typing though? Because I mean,
Because I was done. I was done.
I
Just
mean,
read the description.
I'm glad I got these people these.
Read the description.
I don't want to read the description because we're live right now, Marcus, and people were introduced to your typing prowess, Marcus.
Hello, world. And those were my
There was loads of
angry
problems.
Twitter fingers.
There's loads of problems with today's show. So this is Eric's thumbnail.
Let's just point out it's not loads of problems with today's show. It's just that Manny and Marcus have an issue with my style, but that's fine.
Style? I call it not a style. I call it tasteless, bland, and lack of effort. Okay.
Whatever. I put a lot of effort.
If this show if I were to describe this show as a food, it would be a church stale ass cracker. That's how I would describe this show. It'd be
sometimes
communion.
that stale ass cracker is satisfying when you've been in church too long and you like, God dang, thanks for communion because I needed something to snack on.
No, it's
Just
not.
saying.
It's the wine. It's the blood of Christ that get me going. Hey.
So when I told Eric I was working on changing his thumbnail, it's because I don't like when you put the logo and it's not centered. I have a problem with that. So his response was it would cover someone up. So I told him you either zoom out or you go to another image, which I did.
Hey.
I changed the image. Works better.
Good job, Manny.
But then,
I prefer my image.
But I was like, it was the SmackDown debut of Bird Lady and Friend, and you can't just leave them out.
There they go. As Isla Dawn grinds the mat. I can't believe they made their debut. I was shocked. I was like, oh, she's healthy. I thought she was hurt.
Manny, let me tell you something. I agree. This is a better picture. It captures the spirit of Isla Dawn.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now, though. As interesting as the picture on the right is, I am more interested in Roman's shirt, which I think might be my favorite wrestling shirt of all time. It is a man as a goat that tells you life isn't fair. I don't understand why he chose to go this route, but it is my favorite Roman shirt to this day.
Marcus, when I saw
I died laughing seeing the goat on the shirt because I didn't realize it was a goat until they got into the ring and I went, oh shit.
You know what's funny, Betty? You know how you complained about Bianca's overselling last week? And I thought she did a little selling, but I thought her husband brought back his vintage NXT overselling this week against Boogs. So I want to talk about that, how you felt about that when we get to that point.
Well, I don't believe Asuka used chili powder this week. I like to think she used a blue slushy and spit into Bianca's face, and it didn't have the same effects. She's just offended that you spit blue slushy in her face.
Let me also point out, hey boy to Bianca is kind of hilarious.
Yes, boy.
Yes, boy.
They made their debut, and they won by tomfoolery, which is amazing. Everybody,
Can I tell
welcome
you-
to the Sharpshooters podcast. I am Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I am a very serious Marcus the Grand Finale.
And you too can save $10 on your car insurance if you type like him.
No, you can't.
What
You
did
say
you
10%?
change on that post?
What do you mean? It's a rant at the end, Manny. It's just nothing but blah, 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 and some nonsense. Add some hashtags.
I'm gonna take that same description and I'm gonna type it in again next
So,
week because that's what
I would like, Manny, can you please let's read the description of the show. We don't have the original, but just see what the description
I have
is.
original. I have what I typed. I will read it.
I think you kept most of it, but it says, "Welcome to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast, featuring Eric the Hater, Lord Manny Hayes, aka Thirst Trapper Jones, Marcus the Grand Finale, 3 passionate hosts who eat, sleep, and breathe wrestling."
That's not true at all. That's not true. You will pass the show up to take pictures of 14-year-old girls.
I'm not gonna sit here and
join us
acknowledge that.
as we
That's
dive
BS.
deep. Join us as we dive deep into the world of professional wrestling and discuss all the latest news, rumors, and storylines from WWE, AEW, New Japan, Pro Wrestling, and beyond. This is where I entered my comment. Do you know the Muffin Man? Each week, we bring our unique perspectives and personalities to the table as we break down the biggest matches, feuds, and events from the world of wrestling. Whether you're a hardcore fan or a casual observer, we've got you covered with our in-depth analysis, expert opinions.
Man,
and
can I
banter.
call bullshit? Can I cut you off and say bullshit? Eric, what happened on House of Glory last night? If you're such a hardcore wrestling fan, what happened on House of Glory last night?
Guess what, Marcus? You don't have to be a hardcore. I'm a host, so you guys are the hardcore fans. So you can tell me what happened on House of Glory last night, Marcus. So what happened?
You ain't no shit. You ain't shit.
Well, this still goes on. With years of experience, just starting to sound like Mike, as fans are always on the pulse of the industry, providing insight and predictions that you won't find anywhere else. From our favorite moments and matches to the controversies and backstage.
Oh my
drama.
God!
We leave no stone unturned in our quest to deliver the ultimate pro wrestling podcast. So
what stone do you have out there? What stones are we turning over?
So whether you're looking to stay up to date on the latest wrestling news, relive your favorite moments, or simply join in
by
the fun,
ChatGPT.
be sure to tune in to our weekly podcast, which is where Marcus then added a new paragraph, which reads, so this description is half-assed. Whatever you can't spell generic without Eric, please donate to the show and maybe we could give a better description. If you are looking for AEW Rampage review, please view another wrestling channel. Sorry. I'm going to add to that sorry, not sorry.
I just want to point out that it's actually disappointing that you guys say that my description is half-assed. I poured my heart into that. And you guys
read somebody else's and changed the names.
Stop on my heart when I put work in, but that's fine. I mean, one day you guys will acknowledge me. With that being said,
it goes on.
Saying SmackDown and a bunch of random thoughts. JETS, go pack, go, and whatever the Steelers saying is blah 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 blah. Remember to like the video and subscribe and join us in the lumber chat.
I think that added a little bit of flavor. You know, that added season to your bland ass chicken that you called the description.
My description was perfectly fine.
But anyway. Good morning. Good evening. May Hulk Hogan be walking in the forest, falls down after tripping over a rock as he tries to get up. A black bear jumps out of the tree and hits a leg drop on his back. Oh, brother, that's going to hurt.
That sounds like the synopsis to Cocaine Bear.
You know, if Cocaine Bear had a scene like that, it would have been a better movie.
See, people always wonder why I only show up on one show. It's because I show up on one show because these guys don't respect me. They don't respect anything that I do.
Actually, let's give Eric some flowers.
Oh.
I know what you're about to do right now because it's more constant disrespect.
I didn't bring flowers, but I do have a bird, Manny.
It's not. So, someone tweeted the Sharpies Network Twitter account. His name is Forgettable Face or at FFace, EFF Face. FYI, I only listen to the shows Eric is on. So he at least makes a single difference. You're one person.
Hey! What's his name again? I acknowledge him. I appreciate him, and it makes me feel better that someone cares.
You forgot his name. You forgot his name already. Is this your burner account?
Nah, man. A Forgettable Face? Nah, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, brother. I appreciate that. And with that being said, let's just jump into it. You know, Roman Reigns decided that he was going to show up, 2 SmackDowns in a row. That's a lot for Roman. But Roman made that contingent. Like, if I show up, I'm going to start this show off. He starts the show off, and he goes through his speech, and he does everything. But then shit hits the fan when Sami and Kevin interrupt. At this point, I enjoyed the segment, and we are finally getting to feel the emotions that Roman has felt with his new shirt with the goat on there. And then, God damn it, Marcus, the damn Usos interrupted, and I did not get to hear what he had to say about Sammy. Marcus, I have never been so upset with the Usos, but at that point, they got to go, Marcus. They got to go. How do you feel about that?
Eric, you know what I'm upset about on this show? And I'm going to tell you this right now because I was going to send this message in the middle of the night and tell you, Eric, I need the clip of Roman Reigns in the back where I was trying to say something. I was trying. Y'all don't let me say nothing. I had something to say. I didn't tell you to interrupt you. I'll run the family. You guys are a tag team. You take care of the Usos. I take care of all of this. I take care of the bloodline. It's a faction. It don't say Jimmy Uso in the bloodline. It says Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table. I run the blood. Can y'all just get out of here? You make me sick. You make me sick. Eric, I wanted to know what Roman was going to tell Sammy as well, and I was upset with the Usos, and I think Roman was in his right to cuss their ass out because no one asked him to bring their sorry losing asses out there and interrupt him. The tribal chief is Solo Sikoa, and the wise man had it all under control. The man had something to say, and we're never going to hear what he had to say. He don't know how Sammy, he wasted his time with Sammy. He wasted his life on Sammy, he said. That's all he got to say.
Now, Manny, I want you to chime in on what you feel about the Usos, but I also want you to speak on how do you feel about that little shoulder bump that took place between Solo and Roman? Just that little nugget. I mean, like, do you choose the head of the table or do you choose your brothers? Who do you choose?
I don't know, but he looked ready to kill, and Roman was very standoffish. He was like, "Oh, what did I do? I didn't.
What is this?"
Yeah. Hold on, chill, like, chill. Like, I don't want no smoke right now. I don't want that thumb in my neck. That's gonna hurt. I don't need those problems. We're a tag team.
But to bring it back to what we were discussing before we went live, when Roman was going through his little thing backstage, he did ask the Usos, "Who's the quarterback?"
Yes. Who the quarterback? I call the plays. Hey, Manny, I 100% imagine Aaron Rodgers saying the exact same thing this year.
And clearly, if anything that we know, most coaches call the plays, and it's that, unless you go to the line of scrimmage and change the plays. Roman is a little bit delusional.
You don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to do that this year?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers going to do that. Aaron Rodgers got no respect. Manny, who's the Jets coach right now?
Is it a Soleil or something like that?
I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
history of Aaron Rodgers.
Let me tell you this: no respect. Aaron Rodgers gonna kick open the door and say, "This is my look at me. I'm the captain now."
Robert Soleil, that's the coach.
No,
I knew.
Yeah, but that's the head coach. But he ain't gonna. He don't call offensive plays. He's a defensive coach.
Yeah, it don't matter who name is on that. It could be God Almighty on that call sheet on offensive coordinator. It could be Moses on defense. It could be Jesus Christ as offensive coordinator.
Hey, Marcus,
who's calling the plays?
Marcus,
Aaron fucking Rodgers. A-Rod don't give a fuck.
Marcus, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Moses on defense might be the most unstoppable force in the game. He can part the Red Sea. He can damn sure part an O-line.
I think he should be the running back coach. He should be the running back coach.
He should be running back coach.
He can bring those hoes. Oh no, I don't believe his commandments are going to be listened to by Aaron Rodgers.
So I thought that SmackDown started off hot, but then it just started to, in my opinion, snowball in a downward spiral. We get a match between the Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly. It was a fine debut match for Pretty Deadly. I like that how they won by shenanigans. I mean, ain't nothing like cheating and putting yourself back up into the ropes. They played a lot.
You gonna underappreciate? How dare you? They cheated Eric. It was a legal man in the ring, and they played it off by him tying himself into the ropes, and the ref having to make the choice: do I tie him or I make the count? I make the count. I'm not gonna ask why he's in the ring.
I mean, I was going to ask Manny a question, but Marcus interrupted. But Manny, how did you feel? Did the Sheamus commentary add to this match? And because I know Wade was trying to sell us Pretty Deadly. Do you think Pretty Deadly was given to the new audience of SmackDown going forward?
Well, I feel like Sheamus kind of harmed what was going on because it came across that Sheamus is from a different era and he didn't want to openly go, do you know what? I don't like what they are. Whatever they are, I do not like. That's basically what I got from what Sheamus was saying. And then the subtle joke that Wade may be gay was pretty deadly.
Yeah. Pretty deadly. Elton Prince suffered looks like a bloody nose early in this match from a drop kick from your boy Pete Dunne, or Butch, as he likes to be known as today. I thought it was an effective debut. I thought we got the whole gist of who they were. The video package before when they were cooking up some shit in the kitchen of what makes Pretty Deadly. I thought that was accurate. I thought that was 100% accurate.
I was like, oh, okay. But you know what I did appreciate, though, because, I mean, this was their debut. I appreciate them trying to give us some backstory. WWE is not relying on the fact that maybe some of their fans have watched NXT or NXT UK and they know who Pretty Deadly is.
They know damn well no one watched on NXT UK.
But, I mean,
and they ain't taking a gamble if you even thought about NXT.
I mean, the fact that
that's why they didn't even mention the accolades on NXT UK.
No.
The fact that you're trying to establish them as a team, I really appreciate that, because I think Pretty Deadly going forward could be the face of the tag team division. I mean, I was a fan of them, and I had never even saw them because they looked like two Final Fantasy characters, and I was like, yeah, that's my team.
And I would like to also add about this this episode of SmackDown. This was the quote unquote the new generation of SmackDown on the show. They tried to do all their debuts and all their new acquisitions on this show. Like, this was all the NXT people got spotlighted, and they really tried to freshen up SmackDown with some fresh faces.
They tried to freshen it up, but they had too many damn talk shows, and that kind of drove me crazy. Now I'll get to that point later, but let's talk about them trying to ride the momentum for Backlash with Zelina Vega. Like, the whole thing of her cutting the backstage interview and things like that, her going into this match with Asuka. I was like, wow, look at them really giving Zelina a push. I mean, she's waited, 5 years for this? I mean, she's not winning anything.
But that ain't no push. They were trying to hype her up so she can get her ass whooped by Asuka. That was all that was. They tried to make you care. She was just there. She was a lamb on the thing of slaughter. I can't remember what it's called.
Marcus,
help me with words.
Marcus, she's the new Naomi. This is what they did with Naomi all the time, where she's the underdog.
I disagree with that, Eric. I was thinking of Sasha Banks when I looked at her.
I don't think it's Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks thought she was more, and Sasha Banks would win the title, but she could never defend the title. That's her only downfall.
I think it was the win in the Eddie Guerrero tributes that made me go like, oh, she trying to be Sasha tonight. And then she did some Meteoras.
Manny,
are you okay with her using a 619?
I don't care. That's fine. I mean, they're being trained by Eddie. Levi says they need to take their flashy clothes up to another level. I want to be a wrestling version of Chris Tucker for Fifth Element. I agree. I think Pretty
Come in, my man. Come in.
Pretty Deadly needs to go. And, someone argued that was by far Chris Tucker's best role ever. And I think it's hard to argue against it because that was
Smokey's iconic.
I love Rush Hour.
You can't be Smokey or even Rush Hour. Carter. Those are his better roles. But I love my man.
Money Talks was right there too, man. Come on.
But you know what? Hold on. When you do think about him as an actor, the closest he wasn't himself was probably the Fifth Element, and that character is iconic for all the craziest reasons. Come in, my man. Come in, my man.
You guys, when you guys were busy trying to change my description, you guys should have put in the comments, we get easily derailed by everything else but wrestling to talk about, because we just went on a random Chris Tucker conversation. But
and he was good in Air too.
He was good in Air. Did you watch Air, Eric?
I have not watched Air
I know. It doesn't have food. If it was called Air Fryer, maybe you would have watched it. But you did not have any intention of watching anything unless it involves cooking shows. But he is in there, Eric, and he's pretty funny. And you will recognize his character as Fake Ryan right away. That's who he's playing. And it's amazing.
So Asuka, after the match, after she defeated Zelina Vega, she was going to get some more work because Asuka's evil now, but Bianca made the save. She got a little bit of the mist in her face. Did you like this better this week than last week? Do you think they're actually giving us a little bit more behind I mean, because they're going to wrestle next week in Saudi Arabia. They're the women that have the pleasure of doing the match in Saudi Arabia. I'm looking forward to the match, but at the same time, are they doing enough to build this match up?
I mean, it feels like they done more with this than they did their WrestleMania match. There was more done. There's more done to even a shorter build to their WrestleMania match. Well, they had a longer build to WrestleMania because this came straight off Elimination Chamber. But they have 2 weeks. They've literally had 2 weeks going to Night of Champions, and they've done way more than their combined of their WrestleMania match.
It is disappointing they didn't put the same energy into the WrestleMania match. I think I would have enjoyed the WrestleMania match a lot more. Marcus, I want you to. Go ahead.
Can I also add? It's easy. They went the simple route of I think everybody can relate to. If you spit my face, I hate you forever. We're mortal enemies. I think if one of us got spit in the face by anybody, we'll eventually think that person's their mortal enemy and we'll try to beat their ass on site. It's an on-site beatdown.
All right, so JK.
But we go on AEW where Wardlow is actually demanding Christian to come out and spit in it.
Well, don't start me on that show. So JK Swift, in logic, the Ray shouldn't have brought back the LWO. He was forced to join that faction in WC. See, J.K. Smush, you thinking of logic in professional wrestling. The reason why they brought the LWO back is for one simple reason. Money.
Money. I
mean, come on, man.
Here's my question with the LWO. Do you think this is helping Santos and Legado? Or is it hurting Legado by associating themselves with the past, the defunct? I feel like they remind me of White Man Can't Jump. The remake. I have not watched the remake. I haven't heard if it's good or not. It could be. But I'm just saying, when I see it and I go, this ain't the original. This ain't what I wanted. I'd rather have Legado.
Allow me to put my hat on. I mean, LDF was far superior than the LWO. I prefer Legado del Fantasma. They came out there. They was dressed to the nine. He had an aura about him. Now he's just kind of like Ray's flunky. He's pretty much what they wanted Dominic to be until he broke away from his father and joined Judgment Day. I'm disappointed with this, but I understand it is a money grab. Hey, and you know what? People are getting behind the nostalgia act, but the thing is, how relevant can this be going forward? I mean, they got to win this week. I mean, that was shocking. They got to win. You know, they haven't had too many wins going into it. I mean, Zelina lost to Asuka, but then they picked up a big win in the main event. So maybe they have something planned for them, but I do prefer Legado. But since we're talking about makeshift tag teams, we had...
Can I quickly just add? It gains them more exposure.
I'm trying to say something. That's what I add that clip.
It gains them more exposure, regardless if it's a good light or bad light. If they can still perform, despite what the run they currently been having, where they just constantly lose. They did get a win at the end of the night, but they've been in the past. They constantly losing. But if you're at the back and you're a producer and you've seen them do that, you might be able to pitch more stuff for them. So it could run better down the line. It's the only problem would be if it's not connecting with the fans, but it seems to be connecting with the fans in the arenas.
I guess I would ask this question: who's having a better main? And I don't know if these two guys are compared. Santos on the main roster or Bandito on AEW roster, because
Santos, you've seen him more.
Yeah, Bandito, it comes out and you like everything you see and he's gone. Although I think of all the Latino wrestlers in wrestling today, no one had a showing like Roosh, who beat the shit out of Jungle Boy. Roosh was everybody. Roosh was my spirit animal this week, and I know that's offensive to say these days, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but I felt like if I had a Patrono and Jungle Boy was a Dementor, it would be Roosh that would come out there and bust his place in.
But let's also point out the fact that Roosh just proved the fact that Jack Perry should not be in the main event. Like, the problem with AEW, they have so many people who could be better off and better situated in the main event. However, they decided to focus on this.
Eric, I know we wanted to go to, let's just get through SmackDown and then we'll go through Eric thinks about wrestling.
Okay, we can do that.
Eric thoughts on wrestling.
So,
but I'll add this. Bandito's better right now. And I agree. Bandito's underused.
I think Santos is better, but I don't think he gets the opportunity to shine the way that he wants to shine.
Bandito's younger. I'll take that.
Okay, well, we're going tit for tat. Santos wears a better suit. Yeah, I went there.
Bandito has a better mask.
We're talking about makeshift teams. This team between LA Knight and Rick Boogs, I don't understand why this entertained me in ways it shouldn't have, but it did. And Dawkins being the big man that ain't the big man no more was quite hilarious. But Manny,
He got curled though, like a little bitch.
Yeah.
can I ask a question? What is worse, to be bench pressed and scream like Ford did, or to be curled like Dawkins? Because
I'm screaming like Ford. I'm screaming like Ford. I'm not being no grown man is curling me like I'm some baby. No, no.
I like that they said that Boogs wanted their name to be Boogie Nights.
That is a good name for a tag team. Hey, they sold me on the name Boogie Nights. And then they broke my heart. They broke my heart that name will never be used. It will never be used. I feel like someone should have trademarked the shit out of that.
Is this a one and done with them, or are they going to continue to try this each week?
Eric, he turned on him.
I know he turned on him. But the thing is, I think we all can agree that Rick Boots can't make it on his own, but he's a great guy to have as your henchman or your partner in crime. Like, come on, Boogie Nights? That's a great tag team. That should be a tag team. What are they doing?
Oh, I'll get to Levi's comment later.
Oh, I did skip something. We had the Grayson Waller effect with AJ Styles. But
no, you didn't skip that. That was before that. We can get into that later, but I want to talk about... before we even go into that, before I even go into that, I want to go back to this boot. And like, LA Knight is loved by the crowd. I think this is going to just help him get more love. If it's tag team member of the week, a bottom of the barrel, and he just blames them for all his losses. I don't know where you actually go. There's no title for him to win right now. He's not taking Theory's title for the U.S. title unless they turn him face, which could work. Or he's not going after Roman. I know people love LA Knight. I love LA Knight. And I think him and Roman can have a nice one-off, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
So just like I praised WWE earlier for trying to get Pretty Deadly over by giving us a pass of their accomplishments, I can't say that they're doing the same thing with Cameron Grimes. I mean, he got to cut a backstage
I thought you were going
interview.
to Waller.
Well, we could talk about that because there was two segments. We can go. He cut a backstage segment with when he was interviewed, and he just pretty much said that he was going to the moon. I mean, beating Baron Corbin is not that important right now, so I don't know where they're going with this. And I like.
What do you want him to do? He got 2 minutes. He got a minute of TV time, and he did what Cameron Guy said. I'm going to the moon. That's pretty much what he did. What is your problem with that? That was 30 seconds of TV time,
and that's what he did. That's what he did in NXT.
Yeah.
But see,
what was your hate with that? What did he do?
Okay, so you guys know this. You know I'm a Cameron Grimes fan. I've always been a Cameron Grimes fan, and I understand.
So what? You want him to do a 30-minute promo?
No. His To the Moon works.
So he going after Roman?
That small NXT crowd, it works greatly. I just don't think that it could connect with the SmackDown audience, and I need him to do more because I don't want to see him be. I don't want to see him.
Also true. But you finished making your point?
Yes.
But I say, Eric, the reason he was backstage, and I am, and you guys know this, I once was like, I don't see it. I don't see it with Cameron Grimes. And then he somehow converted me into liking him. And I think it's going to take time for the main roster and the WWE universe to accept him, maybe along the lines I do if they give him an interesting program to go through. Like he had that whole Ted DiBiase run and all that stuff. Like he needs something to go through. This was a 30-second promo. I'll make nothing of it.
I was disappointed that Baron Corbin didn't attack him. I was like, what was Baron at?
He know the show. Baron's a free agent. And then once you get beaten like 10 seconds, what are you going to do? They're not going to continue that program. Baron was there to do a job.
I guess we can talk about the two talk shows. We had Austin Theory live. I really like that shirt, the ATL, especially from Atlanta. That seems pretty good. Levi says Grimes peaked in NXT.
Oh, I was just putting comments up.
I don't think there's much you can do with him in WWE. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But then we had ATL, and then we had the Waller effect. I didn't really need the Waller effect because all they did was bring up the brief history that him and AJ had down in NXT. I don't know if it helped.
Is ATL really a talk show?
He said it was. It was called Austin Theory Live.
No. Yeah, it wasn't a talk show.
It felt like it, but luckily Sheamus put an end to it with his bro kick, and them boots looked like it hurt.
I think that's a good feud for Theory to have. It's gonna, let's say, toughen him up, as in Sheamus is a bruiser, and he's gonna put out a banger of a match. And I think it's gonna help Theory. It should be a nice program for him.
I was just pissed because Michael Cole also messed up talking about he hadn't won the U.S. title. I was like, Sheamus made that damn title famous. The man ain't won the Intercontinental title, and we know that.
Yeah, Wade Barrett corrected him on that, and I was like, we all know that Drew McIntyre done cost Sheamus that damn title.
Yeah.
Sheamus is never going to get an Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to watch wrestling for the question why Sheamus get this title. Like, I don't care who passed Ric Flair. I need to see Sheamus get that Intercontinental title.
Let me tell you this right now. You know how everybody questioned Austin Theory when he used his Money in the Bank to go after the U.S. title? If Sheamus won the Money in the Bank and decided to go after Walter
He's still wasting it. I don't care.
Nah, man, he got to become that whatever was the Grand Slam. He needs to be a Grand Slam. Miz is a 2-time Grand Slam, which makes absolutely no sense in the world.
So is Rollins.
Yeah, but Rollins makes sense, Marcus. Rollins makes sense.
All right,
set in Hollywood.
So we're going to go into the Waller effect, where he just talked to AJ and they had their history and all that. Do you think this was a proper introduction to Waller on SmackDown?
No.
I agree.
But I think the thing about Waller, his voice is like the way he talks is, but I don't think AJ is the proper guy to play off because AJ doesn't say much. Like
the segment, it just seemed like there's nothing there. It doesn't seem like they're starting a feud with him because they already have Karrion Kross and Scarlett masturbating to AJ Styles' tarot cards in the back and talking about who he's next. And when it takes away that, it takes away that he's on the Waller effect. Karrion Kross is talking about him, but the main thing that we should be focused on is that him and Rollins are fighting the title. But it's already looked like AJ has lost. It already looked like he has other programs set up that has nothing to do with him being the World Heavyweight Champion.
This was bad for Grayson Waller because this basically was Miz. This is basically Miz TV, where he interviews someone, but he's not necessarily involved in that feud. And then it just spurs into him having a match. Maybe he has a match with AJ on SmackDown
unless
next
Waller's
week.
The one that's going to cost AJ the thing, but then wasn't his club feuding with somebody else at one point too? It's a lot going on.
And by the way, here's a question: SmackDown next week. It's a tape show, right?
Yes, taped. They taped it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
And then you sprinkle a little bit of Karrion Kross into this. It's like it's a weird triangle going on between AJ, Karrion Kross, and Grayson Waller. But I mean, what can you do?
And Rollins on the set of his new movies.
Let's talk about what we're really here to talk about. We're talking about the grand NXT debut of one of the greatest tag teams in NXT history, and that is Valentina Feroz and Yusina Liai, aka Bird Lady, and her friend. They debuted on NXT, and nobody even noticed it, but they fought Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn.
I was happy the other one was healthy because she was hurt. She was hurt. And I was like, oh, she's healthy. That was my first response.
I am upset that the feathers did not make it.
She's going to be the next Dax. She's going to be the next Dax. Look at that. She's going to be the next Dax.
We're going to be like, I can't wait to see Valentina Feroz's singles. I can't wait to see her single matches.
It now. She's Dax. She's the Dax of that team.
Do you guys feel that, Marcus, do you feel that Alpha Fire and Isla Dawn had a good debut on SmackDown? Like, do you think this was what the energy that they need to bring of who they were? Especially since we got the announcement that the tag team champions have been stripped of their title due to an injury of Liv Morgan.
I'm a little upset that we still have no clarification of what's going on in tag team wrestling in all of WWE. Like they is there the tag team champions seem like they can go from show to show. They have that immunity. They have diplomatic immunity or whatever it's called, where they can go on any show. But we do currently have the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions on this show. And there's no mention of those titles on NXT really anymore.
No.
And we do have a vacated women's title. And then they're not even invited to be in the Fatal 4-Way in 2 weeks to compete for the current Women's Championship. And I was going like, what we doing here, baby? What we doing?
It don't make no damn sense. None of this tag team nonsense with this NXT champions. They should have had to give up the titles, and it should be a tournament in NXT for these women tag team belts. I don't know what they're doing with all this nonsense. And
they need to just go back to the basics.
In NXT?
Yeah.
What women teams are left in NXT?
There's Lash and Jakari.
We can make some. We can make
It's not an
some.
established team.
I mean, do you have to be established?
Yeah, Manny, you act like Raquel and Liv Morgan was an established team.
I mean, where does Raquel go from here? All she got is her back. I mean, true.
Sorry, that's my point. How dare you steal my point?
But the greatest thing is though, when Bailey points out, "Oh yeah, we gonna fight you next week," and Io was like, "What, bitch? I didn't sign up for this.
Bitch,
what? Man, I'm getting tired of your ass.
Hey,
you just don't understand."
For the record, do you know how I want Raquel Rodriguez partner to be?
Who?
There's only one. Dakota Kai is back outside. She going home. This damage control thing wasn't working for me, baby. You know who peaked together? Me and you. We both have not been better than when we teamed together. Let's be honest.
I mean, everybody's speaking.
But it's gonna be Skittles. You know it's gonna be Skittles.
No, it's just like one of those things. It's like how Mustafa Ali gets he gets a superpower anytime a Saudi Arabia show comes up. That's when he can start winning shit, so he can go get squashed in Saudi Arabia. But shout out to Ali. He's doing it for his people. The main event.
Not Saudi Arabia.
Oh wait, I saw the greatest tweet the other day. So do you know the Raw Battle Royal?
Yeah.
You know where Mansoor was eliminated?
Yeah.
Someone tweeted at Gunther, "You're lucky because Mansoor got eliminated because he don't lose in Saudi Arabia."
Yeah, undefeated on Saudi soil.
And Mark, I know he's not Saudi, but he's Muslim, and so everybody has to have a person that they cheer for. Going for it, the main event: Usos versus the LWO. It was a fun match. A lot of collusion. LWO got a much-needed win. Usos got put deeper into Roman's doghouse. How did you like the conclusion of SmackDown, Manny?
First, you have to bring up the Paul Heyman just as they go into the ring to the tribal chief forgive you.
Oh, so you coming out with us? Who? You coming out with us, Paul? No. We got some strategy for next week. We're going over. 2 minutes later, they cut the TV. Michael Cole goes, "They're not doing straight. They're watching the match." Those bastards.
But the match was really good. It's to be expected though from these lot. I did enjoy when Jay punched Rey Mysterio on the apron and Rey was just out of it.
Yeah, I also second. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the finish. I enjoyed the drama of the Usos continue to go on this losing slide and even on their moves. When Michael Cole was like, "The double splash that used to be a finisher." I don't understand why the Usos didn't win this match. What happened? They watched. Essentially, he was yelling into his microphone, and then after they lose, you cut the Roman, and he's completely disappointed after the interference. And Solo on his way to the ring, and Roman going, "Nah, brother. Not yet. We have other family members." And I go like, oh. So, Eric, this is why earlier in the show I asked who's the House of Glory champion. And the answer to that is now Matt Cardona, as he defeated Jacob Fatu, who is now a free agent.
Oh, okay.
And he could be coming in. They could be bringing him in. He's family. And you know what? And technically, there's another person that isn't family, but he is Samoan. They can bring in Tamatonga, who is also a free agent. And was apparently on his way to WWE. Who?
Manu is free as well.
Shut up, Manny.
Manu,
his boss won't let him out his job at Walmart to go to SmackDown.
I have a question because I know you guys are going to start asking me about what else happened this weekend, mainly AEW. But I want to know who in WWE is standing out to you guys who was not supposed to stand out, but they are making those strides to become in the main event. Marcus, I'll go to you first.
Oh, this is a tough question. You want me to go all the W? Is this all WWE?
All WWE, whatever show. If you want to give me
come
three
back
people,
to this question. I need to think on this.
Yeah, I do too. That's a deep question, Eric. People who I think need to stand out.
Who are standing out? Who?
Because my man
in the chat. Also, let us know what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I will go ahead and say, I always, I think Dawkins always stands out for me with his intentional growth. But
so are we answering the question now? I thought we.
Yeah, I stole my answer, okay? I didn't know where we were going after. You didn't give us another question, so I'm giving you the people that pop up my mind. And I'm also going to throw out Trick Williams out there. That's someone that stands out. That shouldn't be standing out.
But Manny asked for some time, Marcus, so I was going to go into your AEW questions because you wanted to ask me some stuff about AEW. And I'll tell you that I fucking love Roosh. I can't stand that he doesn't get pushed. Him and Andrade should not be where they're at. I mean, they're treating their Latinos very awfully in AEW.
Yeah, they treat all minorities, obviously. How many black people lost this week?
Marcus,
all of them! Eric,
yeah, but the main one, Jay Cargill didn't.
Hold on, Manny. yeah, Manny. I know. Eric, I have a question.
Okay.
And can you remember the jobber who fought Sammy Guevara this week on AEW Dynamite? If you don't know his name, Eric, you did not pay attention to the show.
I remember the name now.
Eric, if you do not remember his name, you did not pay attention to AEW Dynamite. And you're looking it up. How dare you?
You're looking it up. You're looking it up, you piece of POS.
It was Prime.
How did you forget that name? How did you forget that name? Eric, and I'm going to say this, and I hope this don't offend anybody. A nigga named Exodus Prime, Eric. That should be your answer. He had rolled up with the Autobots and showed up to fight for 10 seconds against Sammy Guevara. How do you not remember his name?
I just want to point out that the pillars, as they call them, they have done absolutely nothing for me to hype me up for this main event. I don't think any of it was good. But what I want to speak on, guys, and I want to go to this. And Marcus, I know you're going to say I'm hard on this man because I've been hard on this man for numerous years, even when he was
Eric, I don't want to see who you hard on anybody.
Marcus,
man or woman.
I take issues with Adam Cole. Marcus, I want to point out that Chris Jericho put this restraining order in. Roderick Strong and him came up with this elaborate plan to get him outside the building, and that's all he does to Chris Jericho. I mean, storyline-wise, security should have had to peel Adam Cole off of Chris Jericho's ass.
Eric, why?
Because of what Chris Jericho and the Outcast did to his woman.
Eric, what did they do? Tell me what they did right now. Tell me what they did. Tell me what they did right now.
They gave her a black eye, Marcus, and beat her while he was handcuffed to a rope, Marcus. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for it.
Hold on. What's Britt Baker doing right now?
Wrestling matches.
Eric, she seems okay, don't she? She seems okay. I don't think Adam Cole needs to be out there. Oh, I'm still angry about Britt Baker. If she ain't gonna sell that she got the beating of her lifetime, I don't have any sympathy for her or Adam Cole's crusade for revenge. She seems fine to me.
That is my problem. They tried to.
Oh, not this again. Not this again.
Here we are.
What?
Here we go.
What is this?
On Tuesday, we were invaded by the cast of Flash.
Oh, okay. Marcus, my issue is that they tried to build this as a blood feud. They tried to do it, and I think this is where I always take liberty with AEW. It's like,
please don't take liberty to AEW, Eric. Cody Rhodes is no longer in AEW.
Marcus, she has a lifetime
that is kidnapping.
Signed into that contract.
You leave his daughter alone. I know you like to take pictures and stuff, but that's not it.
Yeah, you guys are gonna get me investigated. I do not take pictures of anybody that's underage. Everybody is.
You do. You're planning a quinceañera.
Yeah, but I won't post any of those pictures. That's for the family. With that, going back, like, my thing is that AEW tries to start feuds, but then they don't go all in. I mean, it's nice seeing Roderick Strong again, but Roderick Strong, I don't understand how this is better for him in AEW than it was in NXT. I'm confused. Was it just because Marina Shafir works in AEW?
Okay. I'll let you release that. I release my anger on that scenario that Roderick Strong has debuted and he is nothing now. Yeah, I mean, or Jay White has debuted at AEW, kind of just there.
That's what pissed me off. Jay White, what? This man was the New Japan champion. He was a champion, y'all. Now he's in the middle of a match struggling with Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks?
He also struggled with he also struggled with
Commander
nuking in a row. Commander on his full debut.
I'm just sitting there like, nah, son, this is Switchblade.
Make him
He should have
special.
waited.
They took away his specialness already, and Eric, and this makes me go into something else that you need to touch on, because I have been forced to talk on this. Manny has been forced to talk on this. The whole wrestling world has to comment on this. The new show of AE, huh?
Oh,
No, I'm talking about the new announcement of AEW Collision and Phil not being mentioned, and the drama surrounding Phil, Ace Steel, Coca Cabana, Tony Storm, Tim Storm, and Tony Khan. I messed up on the name, that's why.
I don't know about half of the extra controversy you are, but
I made the Tony Storm stuff up because I meant to say Tony Khan.
Me and Tony Khan got issues, and he's getting close to a beatdown on site. He continues to show up on Wednesday night and says, hey, I have a great announcement, and I can't wait the next week to tell you guys what this announcement is. And this announcement continues to be something that could have been a press release, aka an email.
This announcement was doo-doo!
Eric, this week, his big announcement was altered because of CM Punk.
What do you mean?
They were supposed to announce CM Punk returning on that show, but then he did his nonsense the night before. So
yeah, they canceled everything.
They pulled it. So the announcement's supposed to be, if they can work it out, the announcement's supposed to be that they were going to do the first show from Chicago. But now there's a backup plan in case they can't get Punk back online, that they're just going to do the first show of what's the show called? Collision. First show of Collision from Daly's place.
Okay, so you guys I've been engaged in trial. Can you guys please tell me what did CM Punk do?
So the thing is that AEW, you know, that they have this $1 billion deal with
Phil, though, right?
Yeah, they have this $1 billion deal with Turner and Warner Bros. Discovery and all that. This, it's good for them. 5-year deal, a lot of money, a lot of shows. Everything seems to be great. Then they were going to make this announcement Friday morning, which undercut Tony saying his huge announcement that AEW is announcing Collision for Saturdays and and they were naming off a selection of superstars: Andrade, Miro, Thunder Rosa, Orange Cassidy. They named up everybody, and Phil was supposed to be mentioned. However, the night before, Phil goes onto Instagram tirade about Wrestling Observer Brian Alvarez. He's also ranting about, and he just goes on these rants. And it basically stems from Tony Khan lying to him about the rehiring of Ace Steel. So they rehired Ace Steel months ago, according to Phil. And then Ace Steel was supposed to work on AEW Collision. But when Phil got this mention that Ace Steel will not be working on Collision, he went on a tirade, which forced everything to go kaput. Is that information for you? Are you caught up?
I just want to point out, I said this, and I don't know if I ever said this on the show. I think it's a huge mistake splitting the roster just so you can accommodate this egotistical man known as Phil Brooks. I just don't think it's worth it. And it seems like it's just one headache after another headache. And Tony needs to stop. I would point out that, you know, when Phil crossed the line, and it's not even when he did this press release, it's when his ass showed up backstage at WWE. He showed up at the rival company. Like, he sued that motherfucking company. Phil has no sense of loyalty.
The whole thing with Phil is that he went after Tony Khan in his face in a media scrum, called everybody in his company a bunch of idiots, children, and he hates them all. Like, according to some reports, Phil don't want to work, Eric. He wants to buy out. He wants his buyout, and he will make any excuse that he can come up with to get this buyout so he can do whatever the fuck he wants and get paid.
He just wants to hang out backstage with Tamina at WWE events.
I think in so many different ways, and this may sound crazy and it may sound insane, I think he wants to go back to the E. I really do. I think he wants to, like, it makes absolutely no sense why a man who has hated WWE for as long as he has to show up backstage, unless you're trying to create some type of controversy. And then at the end of the day, it just shows that he is only about himself. That is the only person that he thinks about is himself. He's like the thinker. He only cares about himself.
So here's my question. Yeah, I think you're confusing him with the not the thinker. You're thinking of the Flash. I think you're going for Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I was actually saying the thinker for the people, the Flash people, and I was doing.
You didn't even finish that season. You don't care about the thinker.
You summoning,
he's ruined
you summoning
he
a
ruined the
gorilla. Is
season.
that racist?
Gorilla
A
Grodd
black
is not
man summoning a
racist.
gorilla. No, you summon.
No.
You being a black man summoning a black gorilla. Is that racist?
No.
If a white man
No.
picks that, would that be racist?
If a white man has called me a gorilla and said I'm summoning you to take down somebody, then we got a motherfucking problem.
Okay.
But no, I don't think there's a.
JK, I don't think the E wants him back. I don't. It's too much of a headache. He doesn't bring enough value
It's too
in
much
my
of a
opinion.
headache.
Oh.
I think they get more money.
I think there's value
if they
though.
bring him back.
No,
Oh,
I think they.
Saudi is different.
No. Y'all oddly mistaken here. You're oddly mistaken.
First of
You're
all,
oddly mistaken.
first of all, don't use your old black man voice on me, sir. Don't use your old
You
black man
oddly
voice.
mistaken here, boy.
Don't
You
you do
oddly
that.
mistaken. Let me tell you something.
Today,
Phil
son, I
Brooks.
will lock you back up, sir. Don't you use that voice.
And-
Don't you go all militant on me.
I understand that there is probably money in FTR and Punk and the Bucks and the Elite or whatever storyline they can go in there and turn all this into a work or a shoot or whatever they want to call it, and they can make money in there. However, Bill Brooks, CM Punk, returning to the E to the company that he hates the most and that he can criticize and continue to criticize, and he hates Vince McMahon and his stupid idiot son-in-law, and him going after and ending or attempting to end Roman Reigns' reign over the WWE Universal title. There is too much money on the table for you not to try to do that.
I don't know. He's
That's
on
true.
record. He's on record actually saying Roman is the guy.
Yeah, he is also.
Sure.
Yeah, but he's on the record saying that. But it's still, he can come out and cut a promo and immediately it switches. Now, here's my flip question on this though. Which match are you more intrigued of if it could happen? Because both are actually a possibility. Let's say CM Punk gets bought up by AEW, which I don't think is happening because Tony needs him. And I think that Warner Bros. Discovery needs them because their ratings have been shit since he's left. Anyway,
But
hold on.
Can I pause you real quick? The problem that AEW has
good
going on
question
right now
compared.
is that CM Punk is still more entertaining than all the champions and all the stuff they have going on their TV. Like CM Punk is still bigger than the Elite reuniting with each other, which was a feel-good moment. But it's still like, how did they get? Go ahead, finish your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Mark.
but he's like the Conor McGregor of fucking AEW, and then UFC has all these fighters, all these stars, but as soon as Conor want to fight, it's a big deal. Like they'll roll that shit out quick. You're like, oh, it's Conor McGregor. I gotta do some shit.
Will you consider him more like John Jones? Because like John
Jones is back.
No, but Marcus, you
Conor's
know,
kind of just still sidelined.
It's like Mark, but it's just like Phil. Phil came back, but then Phil's gonna do something that's messed things up, i.e., John Jones and crack.
Well, anyway, let me cook and let me give you this question right here.
Go ahead,
Which
Pretty
match-
Daily. Make an episode of the grand finale.
Yeah.
What goes? Come on, Marcus, put the bowl in it. What goes in the bowl of the grand finale? Let us know. What is it?
lack of
2,000
sleep.
grams of pay.
Lack of
2,000
sleep, all right.
grams of pay.
Petty, all right.
Oh, a lot of petty. In
lot of
fact,
petty.
if you think you sprinkle a little bit of petty, sprinkle a little bit more. Okay, it can be a little bit pettier. It can just be a little bit more petty.
Lot of petty. Okay.
Lot of
What
petty.
else is in there, Marcus? What else?
Pinch of salt.
Probably a little bit of diabetes. Diagnosed
I'm
diabetes.
gonna hand you the bowl because I can't hold all this. There you go. Catch it. There you go. Mix it up, Betty. Mix it up. All right, we're making the grand finale.
Manny, can you please not mention this bullshit when you're talking about making the grand finale?
You gotta smash it. You gotta
He's
mash
turning that
it.
butter. He's turning that butter.
Anyway,
But here's the question. Here's the big question. If the AEW were to buy out CM Punk, blah, 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 and he decides to go to the WWE, is him and Roman a bigger match than if the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and the Elite decides not to sign with AEW and go to WWE? Which match do you think is the bigger draw?
for me personally, I would prefer to see the Elite. I think the Elite are more professional than
You went with
CM Punk.
professionalism from the
No,
guys that take
more-
shots at Phil on a regular basis.
No, but I'm talking about when it comes to in-ring work. And I think that ideally seeing a Kenny Omega and a Young Buck in a WWE ring is such a thing that you would never thought you would see. I think that it would really do wonders for WWE more than seeing Phillip, because I think Phillip brings in people.
God, this
Yeah,
man by
I'm
his first name.
Phillip.
You're not even calling him Phil.
Phil.
You call him Phillip.
Yeah, Phillip brings in more people in our age demographic, which is like, late 30s, early 40s, compared to the Elite brings in that mid-range, that late 20s, early 30 demographic that WWE so desperately needs to keep a hold of. I think I would be more intrigued to see, like, the Elite versus the Usos. Come on, man. I just think,
Manny, what do you say? Or Manuel, since we're calling people full name, as Eric is calling
that is
him
not
Phillip.
Manny's full name, people.
That's his first name.
I think right now, in the state of play, I think getting Phillip is a bad deal because he has proven when you've given him the ball, he got injured.
Manny, we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Manny,
I'm sorry.
Can you tag me in real quick? Also,
You
Phillip-
are going the
Phillip-
wrong way. Yeah, what the fuck?
Phillip,
Use your other hand, fool.
Oh.
Use your other ashy elbow. And go this way.
anyway,
Go
but
to your-
with that being said,
Are you not looking at your monitor? Have you never
I'm not.
seen the weather report? Hold
I
on.
wanna point
Manny,
out-
Manny, high five me. There it is. That's all you had to do. Just go the other way.
What Manny's saying, that also Phillip is such a loose cannon. Phillip could have the Saudi show book where they book Roman versus Phillip at Saudi Arabia, and the day of, he pulls out, because that's what he does. You
Yeah, he
just
could
can't
do
trust.
That's a bad. That's
He can do that.
bad.
I don't think he'd
But
go
then he's
Saudi
like,
over morals.
Each time they put the AEW title on him, he's got injured. He's got injured and
Yeah.
he's had to drop it. So I feel like longevity wise, there's no point investing money in him. The right call is Kenny and the Bucks. I'd rather watch them. I'd rather
and you can
watch
let
them.
Hangman stay in
They're in-
AEW.
Can I tell you, I agree with you guys. The Elite is the better one, but you guys are pitching the wrong match. I need this by November. I need William Regal to walk out, and it is the Cody
Is that
Rhodes
his year
and Roman.
hiatus?
Hold on, yeah, his year hiatus will be up, and I need the Elite coming out, not only by themselves, but in their completion, with the addition of Cody Rhodes, and they challenge the Bloodline to War Games.
That would be fucking fun. I'll let you know.
That would be an
that would
insane
be amazing.
match. It has the right components there, and the story, the mic work between Cody, Roman, and the Usos, and the athleticism of the Bucks, and you get the dream match of the Usos and Bucks. And I think that will be box office. And Eric, I think, and this is me being a conspiracy theorist and maybe a hopeful conspiracy theorist on my Skip Bayless highest take, I think there is something to this, as in I think this is the reason why Cody Rhodes may have lost to Roman Reigns, is that they believe they can sign the Bucks and Kenny due to all this CM Punk and Tony Khan drama.
They really believe they can.
I think they believe it, yeah. And I think that's the matchup you have.
That's
Can I
why
tell you guys why they
pulled-
believe it?
They pulled funds out of what's his name, Switchblade, and did not bother paying the man of silence, the N word,
Who, Drew McIntyre?
Nick Aldis.
Oh,
Nick Aldis, Eric. But also, Drew McIntyre money might be involved in this too. The reason their contract, they gonna lowball him. It's like, we know what we want. I think we know what it is.
And I think having Cody being in their ear, because you have to give WWE credit. Since Cody has jumped ship to WWE, he has been treated like a megastar. And I feel like they could do the same thing for the Bucks and even Omega. But I think it's more so for the Bucks. I think the Bucks are the more intricate part of the deal, because I think you have.
No, it is.
It's kidding.
The Bucks make way more money just on their shirt sales and stuff like that,
because
without having to do anything.
And this also point out, let's just realize that by the time November come or whatever, not only will the Bucks, the New Day, whatever iteration, will be somewhat healthy. And you can have the Bucks. It's so much more you can do with the Bucks and the Usos, and then FTR will probably come back and stuff like that.
FTR is not coming back, Eric. They have a 5-year deal with AEW, and they said they're retiring right after that.
FTR's locked in.
Yeah, and then on a flip note, Eric, with this whole signing of, I'm going to give all the money to the elite and all that. As you said, Cody could be in their ear and all that and whatnot. But Kenny isn't, Kenny's banged up. And you know what thing that we can offer Kenny?
A schedule.
We give you a light-ass schedule. You got that Roman Reigns schedule, buddy. How you like that shit? You don't have to work as much.
Kenny versus old AJ Styles. I watched that. Kenny versus Seth. Oh, there's a lot of things.
Hold on, it's the match. I don't want to hear anybody say Kenny versus who or dream matches, because there's only one person you dream match people up with in modern era wrestling and WWE, and that's Gunther. You want Kenny versus Gunther. You chop the shit out of Kenny.
You know the fact that AEW still haven't given me Kenny versus Bryan Danielson, or have they?
They did. That was the first match. And after Ash, and then they had another match. They did this. We've been down this route.
For some reason, I only remember Kenny and John Moxley.
Didn't they?
Huh?
I think they had a 30-minute Iron Man match.
I don't
It
know.
ain't an Iron Man match if it's 30 minutes.
But, you didn't watch the MJF Bryan Danielson Iron Man match, which was a really good match. And one of the better ones in modern history.
I just feel like that right now, AEW is in a lot of trouble because they have not really taken the reins of building stars. I would point out that the momentum that Wardlow has, I don't know what happened to him, but now he looks like a jobber and a joke. I don't even know. Hanging out with Arn Anderson, he looks like a bad version of Cody. Like, it's so disappointing what has happened.
No, he looks like if I had to buy Batista off-brand. Yeah.
They could have given Hobbs an incredible TNT title run, but they wanted to do this thing with Wardlow and Arn, which is fine. But at the moment he lost the title, he's now a side. He didn't even get any traction. It's just moved straight into just Christian and Luchasaurus, thing, which I'm enjoying. But it's just like you can't just turn him into an afterthought when you built him up, and now you just toss him to the side with like he's nothing. Yeah,
but and also, I just want to start intermission. It has nothing to do with anything, but shout out to Arn Anderson for trying to throw that ice pack against the wall. I mean, I bet you it was really hard.
I will point out though, they made the Outcast look good.
Because it was like this.
They made the Outcast look good. But I also we got no follow-up from what Miro and Thunder Rosa said in Tony's office. I mean, nothing, it just seems like
that was all about Collision, Eric.
In comic book terminology, AEW feels like a bunch of one-offs.
So, Eric,
it's not an art. It's just one-offs.
This is our last show before Double or Nothing.
Yes.
And where we will be attending. And we could go over the card just a little bit. I just want to say they announced some more matches. I just think that the show may have too many gimmick matches or false count anywhere matches. Because I think that Jericho, and Adam Cole are no disqualification. It's a lights out match. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Christian ladder match. Then we have the Blackjack Battle Royal. We have Anarchy in the Arena with the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club, which seems like the only match fitting for some of these gimmick matches. And then there's the Fatal 4-Way with, a lack of interest. And I'm really concerned about this show, especially with the Arena not really selling that well.
I'm just disappointed that, AEW, when they started off, they were talking about being the company of wrestling. And the unfortunate thing about them, they don't even care about singles matches anymore. Like, single matches are used just to promote whatever they're trying to do.
They announced a singles match. Who? Jade Cargill versus Ty Valkyrie.
I'm ecstatic for that shit.
Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter.
Rampage feud. Thing is, you brought up a Rampage feud, which I do not care about.
Yes. I just think that AEW is going in the wrong direction. They're going too gimmicky with some of these hardcore matches.
I think they're
at their best when they just have regular matches.
Yeah,
I just think that the problem is
turn into that transition into WCW. Look at Collision. It looks like Nitro. Collision just looks
Yeah.
like Nitro.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing
I
about
think
it,
they turned into like GCW with all the
Well-
quote unquote violent or hardcore matches. Like, just mix it up. Just
You know,
like
and
I
I-
would rather see Bryan Danielson in a regular singles match against anybody on their roster than some of these matches they have set up, or even MJF at that.
I will point out that I think the biggest issue that AEW has had, and they're trying to move faster than what they are, they have not been able to create a cohesive Dynamite episode of Dynamite. Rampage is ridiculous because it's not even entertaining because of how they film it. And so now you haven't even got a great formula for Dynamite. You haven't got a good formula for Rampage, and now you're trying to do Collision. Like, I just don't think you're spreading yourself too thin. And it's like,
And don't forget Ring of Honor exists too.
well, we don't even know what that Ring of Honor nonsense is. Like, it doesn't.
It's
any
on Honor
sense.
Club, and it's the same wrestlers that are on AEW Dynamite and Rampage. Which
I
I'm
mean,
like,
it's there are like few things that have me entertained. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know why I was against this, but what they're doing with FTR and the Briscoes and Double J, I don't know why I fight it, but it's hilarious. Maybe because it's different from everything else that's going on. I just think that MJF, and I was
'Cause
afraid
you
of this
old, it's a very
when
old
he
school
won the
feud.
title. I was afraid of this when he won the title. I think that he's a lame duck champion. They had no structure for him to be the champion, and it's almost like they gave him this championship so he wouldn't walk away because he's believing his own hype that WWE wants to sign him in 2024.
well, I
just
think.
don't-
Oh, go ahead. Continue. No, continue.
No, I just don't think that the answer to make him more of a credible champion is having him be Darby Allin, who has done nothing in singles wrestling, Sammy Guevara, who's been a flunky to Jericho, and to Jack Perry, who has been whatever Jack Perry is. I just think that they could have really used someone more established to make him more of a credible champion.
Well, I thought we went through this with MJF that he had the same feud over and over where they had people got to fight to get to him, but those are more interesting, and I quote and say this, than this fatal 4-way that they're gonna have with these 4 pillars at all, because I'm about it. Like, if it was just him versus Darby Allin, I could get it. I can get behind that, at least. But they're trying to get these 3 other guys, and they all have their sob stories, and Sammy Guevara already agreed to lay it down for MJF. It already takes away, and Jack Perry's getting fucked up by Roosh. And you go like, why isn't this guy fighting?
Got fucked up by Rouge. Rouge whooped
Like,
his ass.
he had to grab the tights. He was at the edge of his life. And then
I
got
hate
fucked
those-
up again.
I hate those fluke victories too. His ass was getting his ass handed to him. And it's like, oh, that's it.
Roosh
And I was
looked
like,
invincible.
I've got a question.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Manny.
So AEW ticket sales has been down, and
In America.
I
In
don't know
America.
if it- yeah, in America. Let's exclude what the
All in.
any like international sales. Yeah. Would you attribute that to AEW's booking and how they appear to Americans, or do you attribute that to MJF, how he stands as a champion? Because like when you watch Roman sells tickets because you want to pay, you're paying to see who's going to defeat that man at pay-per-view. Like Money in the Bank, for instance, in the UK, there was about maybe 100 or additional tickets left. They mentioned that Roman Reigns is going to be on that show. They will win. Whatever was left went. And that's the power of a champion. Whereas, like, you don't see, it seems the reverse effect of AEW in America in terms of ticket sales as MJF is champion. They are not selling out arenas. Last time it was published by WrestleTix, Double or Nothing, it's supposed to seat 9,000, I think, and it's only sold about 6,000 something. So it's about a 66% sale as of like I think last week. It may have done a bit more with a few more matches announced. But do you think it's the way AEW have booked, or do you think it's a case of MJF being a weak champion so far?
Marcus, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go?
I'd like to go first. And
I know you would. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, baby, this ain't nothing but a gangbang, and who wants to be second in the gangbang? I don't even know what that
All right,
means.
gangbang, everybody go at the same time.
No, or maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe I'm thinking of a trade.
Yeah, you thinking of train, sir.
Well, whatever the case is, no one wants to go after the other guy. I'm just saying. Oh, that's the lack of sleep talking, people.
That you don't know your sexual terms correctly? Next thing your scars call
No, just in general.
I'm just
Well, Eric,
Oh,
last time he couldn't sleep, he made this.
clearly, he becomes a sex deviant that we all know he is. That
Yeah,
apparently
apparently.
runs in our bloodline.
well, at least I ain't disappearing on women like some of our family.
Call him, man. Call him.
Call him, Ryan.
Make your point. 'Cause I gotta go pick up your niece soon.
Oh, okay. It's my niece. Goddamn. Oh. I want to say one of the things WWE does well, and you can say all the criticisms, they do try to make people seem special, and the main thing with Roman is that these limited dates, and that he's not around all the time, and that you can miss a show that he's not on. It's like, fuck, I don't want this could be the last time Roman shows up in my area or for a bit because he's a limited schedule. It always feels special when he's around. Even if he ain't doing nothing, it feels special. The same with Brock Lesnar makes his return or whatever, they always find a way to make people feel special and they're not used in time. And then AEW on the flip side, the people are used every week and people coming out of nowhere and all that. No one honestly feels special at this point. And the thing with AEW, the main issue I think with their ratings and ticket sales and all that, it doesn't feel like can't miss. It doesn't feel like can't miss television. Like, I need to know what happens next in the storyline because it's kind of like what we're going to get is what we get on a weekly basis. Oh, it's going to be some good matches, but there's no context to it. Let's say this week I missed the, I'm blanking out. What was a good match on Dynamite this week that I enjoyed? I enjoyed Jungle Boy and Roosh. Let's say I missed Jungle Boy and Roosh this week. What's that going to be next week? It doesn't mean a thing. I wouldn't feel like I missed it. You can tell me they're not going to give me a highlight package that was great or anything. Or if I say I was really invested into Ricky Starks and Jay White, I don't feel confident in the show that I'm going to get any follow up or any details of what it means. Yes, they got to say we here for Ricky Starks this week, but it don't feel like it means anything.
You mean no one was there? You telling me no one was there for Exodus?
Exodus Prime. I just feel like that's what the main thing. And then with MJF does feel special at times because he doesn't wrestle on TV a lot. But I think this feud he's so far ahead of these guys on mic work and that you actually care about him that you could give two shits about anybody in this match. He's walking away with the title. There's no way they're giving the title to anybody else. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Exodus Prime down there took all of my time, but I'll make this short and sweet. Brother, I will point out that I'm glad that you argued against your own point that you made earlier because you were saying that the reason why Roman is successful because he's scarce and he's not used often. I was going to say that AEW does the same thing with MJF. He's not used often either, but I think the difference between what happened between WWE and AEW, and I say this with all due respect, is that WWE is looking at the grand scheme of things. They are booking for a broad audience. AEW mistake was they booked for wrestling fans, and I'm talking about hardcore wrestling fans. For example, when they debuted Jay White got no type of explanation of who he was, what he accomplished, what he is. They relied on the fans knowing who Jay White was already. They knew his accomplishments, and they do this time after time with Bandito. Whatever people debut and then they disappear. They have all these people on their rosters that they don't use. For example, we had the opening match. We had Big Bill. He's an enigma in their company. He's a huge guy. He might do some different things, but he was put in a throwaway match against Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. And what was accomplished there? I think that they just don't do a good job of sticking to their own stories. Look how quickly they dropped their whole we have rankings and stuff. That they don't even do that anymore. Like, it's matches just happen.
They didn't quickly drop that. That took about 2 years before they dropped that.
I think if I just
on day one, I wanted for the record to say on day one, I said that would one day happen. I want to say that would always happen.
It could be that maybe their performers have too much creative control, or it could be that their creative is just really bad. I don't know if their creative is just one man. Many people have said Tony is just one man, but I just think that you can do all the gimmicks that you can do in the whole wide world.
How
But
about a quick
eventually
statement?
people get tired of gimmicks. And I think that's the thing what's going on with AEW. I think you can how many hardcore matches can you have? How many last person die? I mean, look what they did to poor
Last
Hobbs.
person die match?
But you know what
I
I
don't
mean.
know what that match is.
Look
Last
what
person
they-
die match.
That match
Look what
was
they did to
incredible.
Hobbs. Hobbs was the TNT champion. He lost his title. Now he disappeared off the face of the earth. And now, like, Wardlow has moved on to the other people. It's so disappointing what goes on. But Marcus, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to add a mention about the creative. Brian Days is going to be a part of the creative of AEW Collision. He will be like the head guy or something, or
Yeah, but-
a part of it. I'm just saying when he says one guy and who's in charge,
But
Brian.
isn't
They,
that
it is spaced out. I guess maybe they're spacing it out more with other people getting involved.
Isn't it a
Just- I was
problem,
saying that.
though?
That's all I was
But
gonna add.
isn't it a problem that you're gonna have a separate creative for a separate show? I mean, one thing
No.
about WWE,
SmackDown
people-
Raw seems like creative.
yeah, but they have separate, but everybody still talks to each other. Like it seems like this is like we're gonna
Not
have. Two
really.
different- I don't
No,
know what they do. I mean,
Well, like,
'cause-
if you
I don't
talk
think
about
Sean
what they were
talks to
talking about-
anybody.
Like when you actually look about what was going on with the draft, I don't think many people actually fucking knew. Even the talent didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I think everybody's confused on that.
I don't think it's down to creative. I do think having Tony just book both, having Tony book Dynamite and Rampage on his own did hurt them a little bit because some people just seemed like they didn't have any direction. If you watched All Access, you saw that with you saw the frustrations of you only saw it with Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. But like you saw some frustration there, and then I saw they showed Tony actually had his booking grid on screen up for one of those episodes, and it looked very crazy. Like that, it looks like that he needs some help, and hopefully the shows improve when they add additional people and additional minds into creative.
well, it's also good that he hasn't announced that somebody's all elite because like.
He didn't announce
Usually
Karen Jarrett. I'm really upset about that. Everybody else get the lead posted, but Karen Jarrett didn't get one. And
Marcus,
I'm not
Marcus,
happy to see
Marcus,
Karen Jarrett.
Marcus,
I wasn't happy to see her on the show. I'm just saying she
Marcus,
deserved that she's an all elite posted.
Marcus, let me tell you something right now. I was finally starting to accept Jeff Jarrett being on TV in 2023, Marcus. It took me a while. I was going into my May. And the next thing you know, old ass Karen Jarrett showed up, and I say that in 2023, no Jarrett should be on TV. This is blasphemous, man. I mean, you know, we got Lana not on TV. She got to buy tickets to go to WWE shows, but Karen Jarrett's on TV. What was she at home and said, "Wow, Trish is on TV. I'm just as big as Trish. Let me get on AEW."
Well, I like to add that. First of all, Eric, you better thank Trish Stratus for you goddamn it right now. Me and Manny already acknowledged her. We thank Trish. Okay, I'm thanking Trish right now. I'm thanking her again.
I'm not.
Thank you, Trish.
I'm not.
Thank you, Trish.
I'm not.
And I would like for the jumping the shark. I think we need to have that graphic of some kind or a video of someone jumping the shark because Karen Jarrett joining AEW was a fucking mistake. As soon as that happened, I went, "Oh, that hurt." And then I would also add
WCW. This is like that's almost the same as Luna Vachon showing up on WCW. May she rest in peace. It's like
yo, that's Eric, this is Hogan TNA. Eric, I'm done blaming WCW. I'm in the modern era. That's Dixie TNA right there. That's
right,
Hogan
that
and
is
Dixie.
right.
That's Hogan and Dixie. I also would like to add. This was a point I was going to make. I just forgot that
And you went first, Marcus. I want to put up, baby.
No, this is a quick second. This is a quick sentence.
For the record, Betty, I allowed him to go first. And doing my thing, how many times did he interrupt me? 3 times.
Yeah, but you watch Stephen A on First Take. He interrupts everyone. We got modern
JJ or whoever there. Yeah, I'm basically just a bald, just as bald as Stephen A. Smith. But I decided to not keep putting my forehead back. Yeah,
you don't have the pencil moustache.
Or the energy or time.
But
so what I was talking about, people don't feel special. Eric, tomorrow we're going to New Japan Resurgence. There are so many people on the AEW roster on that show. Why do I need to watch AEW to even watch them people?
I don't even know what's on. What time is this show? Is it 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock.
Okay. I guess I'll meet you guys in the parking lot.
You're not going to just swing by here?
What?
We're gonna take separate cars to pay for separate parking.
Yes. That stadium is closer to where I live than it is because it's off one shot off the freeway. I would have to backtrack to go get you guys. At least after the show, I could go straight.
Marcus should drive to you and pick you up.
No, I'm not driving 2 hours away. It's not closer to him. It's not closer to him, Manny.
No, but it's closer for me to get home. Because ideally, this show is going to end, at 10 o'clock? Me driving back down to your house will be an additional 30 minutes.
It's not going 4 or 5 hours.
It's at 5. Well, you're right. You're right. It's not.
Well, you got to get there at 3 because, it starts around there.
Who on AEW am I have to go see, man? Because I've already seen him on one of my Sundays, not both of my Sundays.
Well, you got John Moxley and Will Yuta.
Fuck, I'm going to see his blood.
You get his blood.
Am I getting Kip Sabian?
No.
I'm trying to find out what happened to him and his wife. I just don't know. He had the bag. He made a debut. He disappeared.
The point is, what I was making is that they need more exclusivity with their own show. People are like, oh, you can't be doing this because if I'm watching John Moxley and here and GCW or so and so there and doing all that, I need Dynamite more.
Well, Marcus, that was the
selling point. Watch him anywhere.
Mark, that was the selling point of AEW, that you would have that freedom. And now you're trying to take away that freedom from everybody. It's
I
hard,
would,
Marcus.
I would, because as a business, I need exclusivity. Okay, we need to be exclusive. I don't need you having better matches with other people and other brands and being like, well, doing this and doing that and whatever. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Well, speaking of exclusivity, this is the only place where you can catch the Untitled Manny and Marcus show on Tuesday and Thursday. Also, where you can catch everything
until we sell out.
Featuring the grand finale. I almost called him the Grand Wizard and Jamal.
I'm that too.
And then also the Sharpshooters podcast that takes place on Saturday, where they will disrespect whatever title I make, change my thumbnail, and change my description of the show. Just because they like to do things like that. But we do appreciate everybody that has tuned in. If you guys want to listen to the audio version, all episodes.
What is he carrying right there, man?
I'm trying to do my read, Marcus. All episodes of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show and the Sharpshooters podcast are located on our audio feed streams on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you listen to your podcast. The show is there. We appreciate you guys joining us in the Lumber Chat. Thank you, everybody who showed up in the Lumber Chat. Even the reverse flashes.
Donate to the show.
Donate to the show.
Donate to the show. I may be going to Money in the Bank, but I now need Money in the Bank.
Food, what you think? Help Marcus get a better bed to sleep in so he can get better sleep. I mean, that's all we need.
Yeah, you act like that's the problem with my sleep. You act like that's the problem with my sleep.
He's like, him not sleeping is a life choice.
That is also true of Marcus. Marcus do make these decisions. He's like the Tony Khan. He needs Coke to keep going. And also, you can help. Maybe we can get the Boo Boo Baron to show up at one time. Just let all his people out there realize where he's at because they think he's dead.
I don't think he needs that. The thing he doesn't need is exposure. Going by the stories I've heard.
Also, don't forget that this Saturday, Night of Champions, we'll have a watch along.
Mr. Incognito. Please
come enjoy Lord Manny and Wes from B-More as they get through you guys and watch the Night of Champions. I don't even know what the get through you guys mean, but still, it sounded very awful when I said it. But find out what meal Wes decides to cook on the watch alone. I mean, we've had popcorn, we've had pizza, we've had it all.
May leave me on my own. That's how wild Wes could be.
No, thank you, J.K. Smush. I appreciate you getting off a cruise and joining us on this weekend. I know it's hot out there in Florida. Stay safe, man. You got DeSantos. Wow. On May 6, 2023, that man went to sleep.
By the way, happy May 19th for those who forgot. I know King's going through it right now. Just let you know, Mr. Mayor of Knox County, we're rooting for you.
I'm not rooting for him.
I'm not either. I'm not. I just wanted to bring up May 19th, to be honest. One of the greatest storylines ever. For no reason. It's stupid. Marcus, it's so stupid.
I know I should see no evil, but I see all the evil in the world. And on that note, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the show. I am Eric.
I'm Jacob. Good night.
Manny Hayes.
And until next time, stay sharp. We out. Wait, I gotta hit that thing to hit the closing thing because you know the Let me get that. Oh yeah, there it is. Big Ross.
Yeah, why is he got the broken off the pillar? That's not a practical weapon at all.
Well, Jericho used it in his match against Roderick Strong.
Yeah, but they also threw spoons at each other.
And they used an ice cream. Then you know what? Hold on. Let me go back real quick. You know, the biggest problem with AEW, the announce team. They don't sell me on no stories.
A fucking Excalibur. Him and his mask. And he's trying to talk about the emotion. Oh, this and that. You know, I don't take him serious at all.
Marcus, I don't think Excalibur is the biggest problem. I think that these cats are such like homers, like they're trying so hard to be fans.
I'm done. Hold on. We need to end the show. And I have one quick question. I know. I think we need to end it on this show. Hangman Page eye patch. What do you think? Yay or nay? Leather.
I like the patch. I just don't like Hangman. I like the patch. I don't think it's. I mean, when he takes it off to wrestle, it's gonna be like, man, what the fuck? Why you out here faking people who got bad eyes? You better wrestle with that patch.
Nah, fuck that. I like the eye patch.
Rest in peace, superstar Billy Graham. You know, was a combination of Hulk Hogan and Dusty Rhodes.
You know, Ryan's mystery lover from all those years
back. In front of that screen, man.
Yeah, never forget. The
Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast.
Just spit my face, Manny. Just spit my face.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
I did that.
Yeah, why don't you leave? Let's just end the show.
I am. Bye.